Hi, hello, and welcome. I'm definitely not Vlad, and you're watching me go from Bellend to Legend in The War Within Season 2 on a Devastation Evoker. What does Bellend to Legend mean? It means 0 to 3k, rather than the usual 0 to Hero, where I go from 0 to 2.5k. In today's episode, what we're going to be doing is trying to get a plus 8 done. So, the last episode I did, the workshop plus 6. It was my first key. It was a complete cluster. I just kept messing up pretty much every time I tried to do my opener, and I died a couple of times like an idiot trying to do my DPS. In the meantime, I've done some other keys on the stream. I straight up accidentally did a 7. I queued up for a 6 Theater of Pain, which ended up actually being a 7, and I didn't realize until we were like at the 4th boss of 5 or something like that, or at the 3rd boss of 5, doesn't even matter. We were well into the key, and I really didn't want to leave at that point just to mess it up for everyone else. So I stuck through it, and we got a 2-star and everything. I do feel a little bad about it because I do have a rule where I'm not allowed to do a key level higher than what I've cleared in videos. So I have to clear a 7 in a video before I can go clear a 7 on the stream. But since it was, by accident or whatever, I don't feel like I need to count this. I don't know. You guys tell me how you feel about it. I honestly, I doubt anyone really gives a shit. But yeah, just explaining why there's a 7 clear. Now, ideally, I would have cleared the rest of these keys, but we did some transmog review, and I did a bit of analyzing of DPS in different runs that I did, where there was another evoker that straight up just smoked me in damage, and it was really, really cool to learn from them. Apparently, what I don't do is I don't spam enough Pyre, and I don't use enough Firestorm. So I made myself some stuff where basically if I'm in an AoE situation, or if I have a Firestorm proc, it'll dance in front of me here and tell me that I need to use it. I also just noticed this small little annoying thing, which is this WeakAuras is glowing even though I'm not in combat, and I usually avoid that. So let's quickly just go to conditions and let's adjust that. So instead of just glowing when I have more than one, when I have charges available, I'm going to change it to when I am in combat and I have charges available. Let me just find where that is. And charges, by charges, I mean charges of engulf. So if I have engulf available and I'm in combat, this will glow because I want to use it when I have engulf available. Okay, cool. Anyway, we have another look to change to the Evoker. I also enabled, what is this thing? Chosen Identity, because apparently when you're in Visage form, you increase the HP regen out of combat for your party. I don't think it's really important to have that, but hey, every little bit helps. So I also styled our human form, or whatever you want to call this, or Visage form, so that we actually look pretty cool, I think. I even found a matching mount because I feel like this mount does match the rest of the colors that we have going on. We got the red, we got the flamey colors, we got the white and the black, and that's kind of all the colors that my character has in Visage form as well. So I think this works quite well. Anyway, sorry, now I'm getting back into the transmog review. Let's actually get to work. We have some ruined Undermine crests. I guess I could go use those. I'm running low on Valor Stones, so I'm going to keep those until I get some upgrades where I can skip some upgrades for free. So if I get a hero piece is by default 649, if not higher, and most of my pieces are currently at 645 because that's 4 out of 8 champion. So if I get a hero piece, I don't have to spend 10 crests upgrading this. I can just skip that and spend 30 crests to upgrade it all the way. So I'd rather wait until I have some of those. Also, I'm going to try and get into a plus 8 key. That is going to probably take me a moment to do, but let's give it a shot. Ideally, I'd try to get into a Theater of Pain because it's clear to the 7, and that gives me the best chances of getting invited to an 8. But we're going to take a look at some of these keys that we haven't done yet. So Motherlode, Priory of Sacred Flame, and Rookery. Those are the keys I haven't done. So I'm going to try to get into a plus 8 of those, and Lord help me, I don't think I'm going to get invited, but we may as well give it a shot, right? Yeah, this is going to be rough. I have a feeling this will be rough. Let's see how it goes. I'll talk to you when I get into a key. I might decide to just do my own key and push it up to an 8. We'll see, but I have a feeling this is not going to be the best course of action for yours truly.
One eternity later.
And here we go with a plus 8 Rookery, where we have Pulsar and Fortified as the 2 affixes. We're going to give the tank a little bit of time to grab aggro on these. He's not opting to pull these Rook Guards, which is fine. We're going to look for an interrupt on this, precast this. And pop off. Okay. Yeah, I did exactly what I was supposed to do, which is my perfect opener was finally achieved here. I'm not being targeted, so I'm not going to use a defensive. I'm still not being targeted, so I'm not going to use a defensive. I will actually kick that because I have that available now, so I may as well do so. Hard casting my Firestorm, and we just pop off on the DPS front. I love to see it. Holy shit. Okay, I finally did my opener correctly. All I had to do was shut up and focus. Shut up and focus, Vlad, and you will do so much better. Goodness gracious. Okay, nice. I feel like I did okay. Tank is clicking the thing. I'm going to run forward to grab these that are further away. Mage did the same thing, but they will have to backtrack a little bit. Okay, nice. Okay, sorry. I really wanted to focus there, and I feel like I kind of need to get my opener correct. Outside of my opener, I can kind of yap and do whatever, but for the opener, I do feel like I really need to focus. Are we pulling extra with this? I wouldn't. I would rather pull this patrol with it because this is relatively easy to deal with. I don't know. It looks like we're pulling. We're going to interrupt that. Okay, here we go. We're bloodlusting this pull because we didn't bloodlust the first one. I completely forgot about bloodlust being a thing. My apologies, group. I have aggro on the... Oh, okay. That was scary as hell. I'm going to knock this guy up. By this guy, I mean the Thunderer. I'm going to use a defensive because I'm being targeted. I'm going to try and grab this. I'm just spamming fire, and I'm going to use my... should have used my stupid star thing before I used my engulf, but it doesn't matter. Shattering Star. I just need to like stop really thinking about Shattering Star as much as I am. Sure, it's incredibly important with the tier set and everything, but I am overthinking it to the point where I'm not actually doing good DPS because I'm focusing on a bunch of things. I don't know why the mage bloodlusted. They chose that was what they chose to do. Anyway, I'm going to pop all of my cooldowns here again and double engulf as best I can. Nope, I cannot double engulf, unfortunately. I don't want to spend an engulf here because what will happen if I engulf will be... I'm going to use a defensive again. What happens if I engulf again will be I won't have a fire breath on the enemies, and that'll be a waste of an engulf. Okay. I think I got just about everything I wanted out of this this pull. We got a full Dragon Rage duration for most of the pull. We only have a few seconds left over that we didn't utilize, so I'm quite happy with that. I focused on surviving the lightning bolts and kicking them as best I can while trying to still cast and do all my stuff, and I feel like I did an okay job. The patrol over there is too far away. I'm going to put a focus on that guy, and then we're going to focus on actually doing some DPS. I would love for that extra group to be pulled in, but it looks like... Oh, we are pulling them in. Okay. Well, we're going to try and send in all our fire breath. I should have probably used it already, but I just thought that we would actually... I gotta knock this guy up. I know it's going to spread out the mobs even more, but I'd rather spread out the mobs than die to getting hit by that. Let's put down the firestorm that I've been ignoring for a while here. Oh my goodness, I'm taking a lot of damage here, but I'm also dealing a lot of damage, so I feel okay with that. I'm still a little bit flustered. You can probably tell from me just talking about nothing but my rotation, but I kind of have to. That's how I learn. Honestly, let's put it this way. If I'm playing the game and commentating, I'm not learning shit. I am, at best, I'm trying to actively participate and give you something to listen about while I do this whole thing. Okay, we start things off with a stun. I'm trying to hold stuff for... Okay, we got stuff. We got stuff. Big call out. We got stuff available. And I'm dead. Good Dragon Rage. Great Dragon Rage. Did I get meleeed? Nope, just triple lightning bolted. Needed to use a defensive there. I'm going to release and just fly over. It's not a huge deal. But it makes me very sad because I had just used Dragon Rage. Oh, well... I think I had a kick available. I should have looked for a kick or something. I don't know. I should have maybe also knocked them up, knocked them back, something. I needed to pay more attention to them dealing damage instead of me trying to deal damage. But we're going to come in. We're going to zap one of them with my mouth beam. The beam that comes out of my mouth. And that guy's going to get a touch of death. We're going to move on to the first boss. Tank checking for healer mana. No response, so he... pulls. That is fine. Okay, let's focus on the single target rotation now. I would ideally not stand on top of anyone else here. You want to avoid these circles, obviously. They will murder you. Don't think they won't. They will. They don't give a... And the single target rotation is fairly simple. Okay, here we're going to use a hover charge and just keep moving with the group. If they're moving, I'm moving. Should maybe step away just a little bit so people don't have to compete with my circles. Touch balls goes out, so we have to actually go ahead and do that. Let's get that fire breath back up. I'm going to move again with this Eternity Surge, and let's disintegrate the bejesus out of this guy. We got this. send out a random, what's it called? Send out a random Azure Strike in the middle of my rotation for no particular reason, just because I guess I could. I don't know what to tell you. But we have Dragon Rage coming up here in a moment, and I think I might want to wait for the intermission to end before I Dragon Rage, because I feel like I won't be able to actually make full use of it. I do have Hover. Maybe I should still Dragon Rage. You know what? Screw it. Let's Dragon Rage by doing this, then Dragon Rage. Get that engulf going. We can't engulf twice, and we have our hover, so we're going to go ahead and use that. I'm going to move slightly backwards so I don't run ahead of my friends here, the melee or whatever, and place those zones in front of them. I don't want to do that because then I have to avoid that, and that's not great, is it? We have some lovely damage from engulf coming in here. We had all of our dots up. I think I was missing the living flame dot at the end there for the second engulf, but it's all right. It's not a huge deal. The way engulf works is the more dots of my own I have on the boss or the enemy, the more damage I do. I wanted to finish that living flame cast like it was the last one I'll ever do. But one more engulf and a disintegrate here near the end should take care of it. Monk goes ahead and jumps into not a great look, Monk. Not a great look. The monk jumped into the thing, so they kind of couldn't... They jumped down too soon. Can I actually press this button? Thank you. That would be great. Okay. Then one final run over there. I don't want to be in dragon form. I want to be in human form, because that way people in my party get extra health regen, which helps because sometimes people take fall damage while they're jumping onto the platform with the feathers, so they can regen here. And when I get into combat, obviously, I go back into dragon form. I'm going to put a focus on this guy, going to interrupt him immediately. And here I don't have... oh my goodness, let's get away from that. We're going to use a defensive here. Here I don't have whatchamacallits, Dragon Rage for this pull, which would have been ideal, but it didn't work out. We were too quick with the boss or something, so it didn't really work out. We're going to go ahead and kick that guy in the background. Deeping Corruption on me. I'm going to curse this spell. Oh, somebody else curse this spelled me. Okay, that is good. I have a bunch of things wiggling in my screen telling me what I need to do. I need to focus. What I really need to do is I need to focus this diffuser with my prio damage coming in from engulf. Okay, still doing good DPS though. Still doing good DPS. I have Dragon Rage. Do I want to use it on this group or do I use it for the next group? If we double pull next group, then it'll be very much worth it that I held my cooldowns. But might get more cooldowns if I do this right now. I think I'm going to do it right now. Screw it. I'll do it right now. Might not be ideal, but I'll get it done at least. You can tab target. So the reason I tab target there is because when you use max rank flame breath, why am I disintegrating, dumbass? When you use max rank flame breath, you don't have much time on it for the dot, and you want to consume the 2 seconds of the dot when you can. I keep trying to cast this Firestorm, but the cast takes forever. Jesus. So when we max rank Fire Breath, what I do is I engulf one, then engulf another, and that way I can get to 2-second consumptions, which does a bunch of damage. As you can see here from the Consumed Flame doing 16 million in that fight. I did do more, but yeah. Okay, it does not look like we're double pulling here. That is something I'm kind of happy about. Oh, never mind. The diffusers have been pulled. I'm going to look for a kick here, and then I'm going to switch to the diffusers. And I'm just going to, I guess, try my best, man. I don't know. I'm going to use a defensive here. I'm going to decurse myself. I'm going to heal myself. I'm their favorite right now. All right, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my self-heal because I'm taking a bunch of damage, basically damage over time here. So I may as well treat it as such. The damage over time coming in from the suck. That is what was damaging us over time. Trying my best here to stay alive. Currently not being harassed by the curse that drops the things underneath us. So that's kind of nice. I do want to get a living flame dot out, so my engulf does a bit more on this guy. I'm going to use a defensive, so when I'm hit by this, it doesn't hurt me too bad. We haven't pulled any extra crushers here, so I'm curious where we are going to get our percent from. I can't do that while moving, says the game. I know, that's what sucks so much about being a caster. Oh well. Everyone touches their balls. We get 5 stacks of the buff. This group, by the way, freaking blasters. Loving playing with this group so far. We have our cooldowns available here. We have Bloodlust available. I'm going to precast my Living Flame. I'm going to breath over these. Firestorm manually. Bloodlust has been used. And now we send it. We full send it. We try not to die. I'm going to let this jump over to whoever. I don't really care. And we're single targeting now. So first of all, I don't use Pyre. That would be great if I didn't use Pyre. Another thing is I don't mind using Eternity Surge, which I usually don't really use that much. In AoE, you really don't have much of a reason to use Eternity Surge. All right, very simple single target rotation here, doing quite well. Managed to pad a lot on those little boys in the beginning. Little boy, that's it. The little guys, the civilians. Why did I say little boys? That's some Michael Jackson shit right there. I gotta be careful what I say. Oh man, okay, hold on. I'm getting sucked in. So I'm going to use hover to be able to continue casting. I'm standing all the way over here because I feel like if he jumps on me, he'll fill this gap out. There you go. I'll just jump over to my friends here. I can grab this one because I'm not being hurt. And then I'll move over away from the person who just had it. And I feel like that's a good idea. Okay, well, I have to go really far away from that person now because they went super far away from us, and I would have been the closest person to them no matter what, because the rest of the group is on the other side, right? Okay, avoid these beams. I did position in the middle of nowhere there and almost drop the beams on, or drop the circle on top of us, which would not have been great. I'm gonna go ahead and use a Shattering Star into Engulf to finish off the boss. Not bad. 1.79, mostly single target. I did, yeah, that's 20% of my damage was civilians in that fight. Holy shit. We almost have cooldowns available. I kind of don't want to send them on this group, though. This group's fairly easy to kill. I feel like I really shouldn't be bothering with that. And to self-heal myself a little bit. Self-heal myself. That's such a weird thing. Did I stood in a swirly, didn't I? I did something to take a bunch of damage there. It wasn't the dots that ticked me down, that's for sure. Or did I get void bolted? I'm not sure anymore. I just don't know. Okay, avoid that circle. I don't want to get hit by that circle. On 2 targets, we can still pyre because we'll get Firestorm procs and whatnot. It is okay to do that. I've seen people say disintegrate on 2 targets. That is simply not correct with this build. It is not the case. So let's see, what are we doing? We're not doing the parasol skip or anything like that, right? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Just making sure, spinning a whole bunch, making sure I don't land on the civilians. Oh, we're grabbing this Ascendant. Okay, I guess let's precast on it. Breath into this, into Dragon Rage. I'm using defensives here. I'm gonna kick that because it kicks off the global cooldown. Get these the fuck away from me. They were chasing me down something fierce. Okay, tank is struggling with the aggro department here. I did pop off with the Dragon Rage, so I do understand why they might be struggling. But I was scared for my life for a moment. Luckily, the little civilians don't hurt too bad, and this was the actual target of our tank, so he was doing fine. I seem to have some kind of WeakAuras issue here where heal absorbs are not being displayed correctly on my character unit frame. So that's something I need to keep in mind. Okay, are we pulling this into the Voidstone? It doesn't look like we are. So we're going to go ahead and drop our Firestorm here. We have another one that just procced. Okay, crazy how nature... More Firestorms, dude. Yeah, I can't even see the ground at this point. What do? Okay, I missed that guy with my thing. What's it called? The fire breath. That's unfortunate. Step over here. Keep popping off. Guys, I think I'm actually doing it. I think I'm actually doing well with this class. I'm very happy with this. The practice yesterday paid off. Reviewing what people did better than I did also paid off. Things are going well. Let's precast this. Okay. Tank is moving into that group with the civilians. I'm a little bit confused. My Firestorm was a little bit wasted there, but it's okay. You know, sometimes you just gotta do stuff like that, you know. I just didn't expect to pull more civilians into this guy because they just buff him for nothing, and you can pull them into the Ascendant and be perfectly safe. So that's why I just didn't expect it. It's not a big deal on a +8. Even though it is fortified, I still don't think it's a big deal. But we're about to find out how big of a deal it is, considering the fact that these Voidstones are actually pretty painful. I don't want to use my Dragon Rage on the last 25% of an enemy. That just feels like a bit of a waste. I will use my Fire Breath though, because I will be doing other stuff like disintegrating, and that'll lower the cooldown of it. I'm just being bullied here. Why don't I just hover? Bro, just hover. Okay. Shattering Star into all of my cooldowns. Oh, big damn, big opener. Yeah, boy, got it. We're going to Shattering, or we're going to Eternity Surge there. The reason we Eternity Surge is because, well, first of all, we can. Second of all, we had no other real procs going or anything like that, so I was just sending it because I could. I'm going to use this Firestorm, even though these guys are almost dead, because Firestorm procs, the instant cast ones, they don't really last for very long. Are we going to double pull this? It does not look like it. Let's cast our Firestorm down. We use our Flame Breath, and then we just use our Enkindle. Beautiful. Enkindle? Engulf is what I mean. Whatever. Same thing, different. Same difference. Whatever. I'm really scared to grab that orb. Now I'll grab the orb. I just really, I didn't want to run into the orbs from the Ascendant. Into self-heal here. Heal with this. Yeah, it was definitely showing 2 separate bars. So there's something weird going on with my WeakAuras, but I'll fix that after the dungeon or something. Very good run so far, by the way. I'm really enjoying myself. I feel like I'm doing well, other than the death I had around the first boss. Bro, are you sure about this? Are you 100% sure about this? That is actually an insane pull. Double Voidstone. I don't have cooldowns for this. If I had cooldowns for this, I'd kind of be okay with it. But as is, can't say I'm a huge fan of what's being pulled right now. But let's try to make it through this. Void extractions galore. Oh goodness. I need to move out of that. I need to move to my friends so that they absorb the orb that I have around me. This is turbo scary. Okay, I'm getting my cooldowns now. I'm going to use them on this because this is insane. Actually insane. Not ideal. I don't have fire breath during my cooldowns, which is not great, but I'll get it here in a second. Okay, I'm going to use defensives as best I can. Not a great showcase of my... of my abilities so far. Well, we're kind of living it. I don't know, man. This is super duper sketch. We're dying because we just can't handle it. This was like just straight up greed pull by the tank. This was going great, and then they did this pull. Bro, just die so we can move on. Okay. I both. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not going to ask the same question in party chat because it's basically just criticism. I'm pretty sure, unless the tank is like straight up watching Netflix on the other screen and not giving a single fuck about what's happening in the key, he most likely realizes that that was just not a good pull. All right, we were lucky as this class. I'm able to do this. The mage, I would love to just grab someone and carry them over. The mage is by far the slowest. As soon as they're in range, I'm going to grab them and move. There we go. Yeah, we do still have time. 2 pulls, please. I'm going to say 2 pulls, please, because it just doesn't make sense to grab all of this. It just, it's a bit much. It's a bit much on fortified. If it was a tyrannical week, I'd kind of be okay with it, but like with it being fortified, not a huge fan. Can't say I'm a huge fan. And there were all the civilians and everything else as well, so the Voidstones were turbo buffed. I had aggro there for a second because, you know, I'm just popping off so much, you know. You know how it be. All right, we're going to hold our cooldowns here for the next pull where it's much more dangerous. And then for the boss, I don't really mind. It's not tyrannical, so compared to the trash, it's slightly less important. I failed to utilize my Enkindle correctly there. So what I did wrong was I didn't have 2 seconds remaining on the flame breath debuff, so I used it when I shouldn't have. But it worked out in the end. All right, let's precast Living Flame. We do this, we drop this, and then we just pop the hell off. And Kindle, drop this, do this for the extension. Spam pyres, spam the bejesus out of them pyres. You touch balls, we gotta make sure we avoid these balls though. I need to use a big old defensive here. Can I kick that? Okay, somebody else kicked it. Need to cast this and then this, and sorry editing lad, but you'll figure it out. Or viewers can check the bottom left corner or left of my action bars and see what I'm talking about. Okay, I think that worked out. I did okay. I could have played that better, but it's good enough, right? It's good enough for the key level I'm doing right now, and I am still learning, so I need to stop bullying myself about being able to do things better. It's basically all I talk about because I know I can do things better. Like I waste certain resources quite badly. Okay, well, the mage seems to be going to the right side. I'm gonna let them do that. I'm just gonna stay here because I can't really go too far. I feel like this is fine. Okay, we have Bloodlust available, but I don't have cooldowns. So I'm hoping the mage forgets and doesn't use it on the first shield break. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to stand over here and break this. Tank is definitely taking a beating. Mage is also... I think the mage stood in the crap for a while. Okay, mage definitely ignored this thing. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to use a healing potion. This thing needs to die, like, quickly. Super quickly. I don't care about the big guy, the boss. I really don't give a shit. I need this thing to die, otherwise we're all dead. Okay, I tanked it with my face. It worked out. I got a bunch of heals. We won't get much damage into this. We didn't bloodlust, but we can bloodlust next damage amp. It worked out. Mage cannot let that happen again. I just didn't process that the mage wasn't doing it because I just assumed that the mage was standing there literally in order to do it. But maybe they got flustered because they were low HP. They were like pretty low HP for a second there. Mage is definitely moving over to do it this time. Looks like our friend here is also taking care of it. We're going to get a shield break soon. And with that shield break, we'll be able to... Like, I really don't want to spend my flame bear. I'm just holding everything because that I'm going to pop off. I'm going to use my self heal here because I'm taking a lot of damage from this. We're lusting in advance. I'm trying to drop this off behind us as best I can. Please don't drop me into the fucking thing. Okay. I freaked out. I freaked out for a second. I didn't get my double enkindle perfectly, but it worked out relatively well. Just trying to get as much damage into this thing as possible while we do this, while we have the damage amp. I freaked out because my deep breath put me on right on the corner here, and that's not a great feeling. It's very scary. Okay, I'm standing right next to this. I feel like this is perfect. I'm taking care of it. Like, I got this. I'm good, bro. You don't need to stand in this stuff. It's fine. We have space. We have everything. We have Enkindle ready. Okay. We get our big fire breath out for this. I think that's okay. Like, I wanted to max rank it here. Oh, I dropped the dot. I need to move so I don't take damage from standing in the crap that it leaves behind. We seem to be okay. Ah, almost killed it. Maybe I could have done a little bit more damage there. Bro, stop running away from me with the fucking orb. Like, look at what's happening on your screen. Why are you in Ghost Wolf? Just actually do something. Actually do something. Okay. We might get another upheaval here. There's the upheaval. I should use a defensive when I get bumped up into the air. I still have hover, so I'm going to use this. By this, I mean I'm going to cast. Mage is taking care of that side. Demon Hunter's taking care of this side. I'm going to use my self-heal here. Like all of them, and the boss should be basically dead here. There's nothing we need to do. There we go. Beautiful. We have percent. We have everything. It got a little sketchy there because of that first set of ads, but and that triple or double pull, basically. It's two groups, right? But it's double Voidstone with an Ascendant. We're gonna go ahead and shill our YouTube channel. I didn't get any loot, so I'm not able to offer anyone anything or utilize anything for myself, but that's okay. I have a mother load. I might be able to push that up, so I'm not gonna re-roll it. And thank you for the key. And then we leave party. That was decent. I feel like I did quite well there. There were moments where I like the combination of focusing on doing damage and commentating about that sometimes led to me not paying as much attention to dealing with certain mechanics, such as, you know, interrupting. I still feel like I did okay, but I can do better. And that's going to be the theme of the series, is I can do better. But I think it's okay. I think I did well enough. What do you guys think? I feel like 2.5 million overall in a whatchamacallits, in a Rookery feels okay for the item level that I have, which is 653. I do have 4 set. My trinkets are yep, and I feel like I'm doing a little bit better. 83 casts of Firestorm is significantly better than the other runs I've done. For instance, if I look at this Dark Flame 6 that I did, I only had 36 casts of Firestorm. It was a quicker run. I think it was just overall shorter. It was 16 minutes in combat, and the Rookery was quite a few more minutes in combat, so let's take a quick look at that. The Rookery was 23 minutes in combat, so I had more chances to cast Firestorm, but I still think I cast a lot more Firestorm thanks to the WeakAuras I've set up, so I feel like I am progressing definitely in that regard. I am spamming Pyre more. 167 casts feels okay. Disintegrate damage is significantly lower because it's fortified, so I don't get to do, the beam as much, or I don't have to do the beam as much because there's not as many boss fights. And I've also learned that on 2 targets, I do still spam Pyre because of the procs and everything associated with it. So overall, I feel like I'm doing an okay job with the Evoker. Again, I can still focus a bit more. I should point out that I am a horrible caster player, and it probably shows because I get flustered when I have to figure out what my rotation is. I also spend quite a bit of time just staring at the mobs, but that is partially, the staring at the mobs at the start of a pull is partially because I will rip aggro off tanks. Devastation, because of the way the mastery works, where you do more damage to enemies the higher their HP is, the closer it is to 100%. You just do a shit ton of damage at the start of a pull, and you are more likely to pull aggro at that point. So what I try to do is like give it just a second before I start popping off. This gives me a chance to like set up a hover so I can cast and move, and use a living flame to set up my dot for extra damage on my engulf and all of that stuff. And also gives me a second to just steal my nerves before I go into the opener, because the opener is important. I want to do really well with the openers. So yeah. Also, I'd like to point out this person has 10 more item level than I do, and I still did better damage than them, which is awesome. The Arcane Mage is perfectly fine for them to be a bit lower on the overall. That doesn't necessarily have to be true, but they are focused on prio damage, right? So boss damage with adds, or big mob damage when there's a bunch of little adds. They focus the big mob, all of that good stuff. So their overall may suffer for it because they're funneling, but still they could, I think, do more. I don't freaking know, man. But whatever. I'm just happy with my damage. I'm happy with my damage. I didn't show the group at the start, so I may as well show it now. 659 Brewmaster Monk and 654 Healer. 642. It says 642 Mage. I thought it said higher. I thought it. Maybe I was looking at this item level instead of the Mage's item level. Okay, with 642, this is really good, I think, right? And of course, the Demon Hunter was 663. I was 653. Okay. Anyway, that's enough yapping at the end of the video. I'm just excited because I feel like I did good. Today I will be streaming and doing +8 keys. We're going to focus on doing Motherlode and Priory of Sacred Flame, and then we're going to do some of these other lower keys like Workshop and Floodgate that I have at lower, like I have only 1-star 6s, and then we'll focus the other 6s. Ideally, we would have everything done at +8, but we'll see how that ends up working out. So feel free to join us as we do our little stream. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, let me know what you liked about it in a comment down below. If you had fun, make sure you subscribe, because there's more episodes of me devastating on the Evoker coming. If you want to see what happens between these episodes, you can check out the stream. If you can't make it to the stream, you can always check out the live section of this YouTube channel to find the VODs. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Aha, and now we float. I wanted to say I'm a floaty boy, but this is very much a girl, so I don't know what to say at this point. I feel awkward now. Whee!